It's good to have you back. Now, the cost of living continues to rise. The prices of food, fuel, as well as electricity are all increasing, and this is making it even more and more difficult for people to make ends meet. Well, there is also unemployment rate, which is currently standing at 32.6%. So let's discuss this plight which is faced by many households, including businesses, with economist Professor Bonke Dumisa. Prof, good to have you, and a warm good morning to you. I mean, let's talk about this. What should consumers prepare for when we're looking at all these price hikes, whether it's in fuel, whether it's in food or even electricity? Surely it means we need to tighten up our pockets here.
You've touched it correctly, Tumelo. We as the consumers, because we are all consumers, we must tighten our belts, because what is happening with regards to the different types of inflation, because all these things build up to what we call the inflation rate. It's beyond our control, because, for example, when we look at the petrol price, why you are going to have petrol going up by 91 cents per litre, or the diesel going up by 55 cents per litre with effect from Wednesday, the 4th of August, it is because the crude oil prices have been rising significantly over the past 5 weeks. And that's why we find then that the crude oil prices, the average crude oil price in July was $74 per barrel, and yet in June it was $72.9 per barrel. That is a very significant amount. And now, to worsen that, even our South African rand did depreciate because of all these things that you've been complaining about. So average in June was $13.92, and then last month in July it was $74. So those two things have culminated in our crude oil, our fuel prices having to be adjusted up by those amounts, and that's beyond the control of the South African government. And this is going to feed into the food inflation then that you mentioned, because almost 90% of all the food that we eat and the things that we use in our kitchens are transported through road transport, and there is no guarantee that this crude oil price is going to go down in the near future.
Yeah. Prof, if I may just jump in there, what does this then say about the state of our economy? I mean, while you're explaining, the knock-on effect on, the fuel prices and what affects it, what impacts it, and we're also looking at this staggering 32.6% unemployment rate, where does this then place the state of South Africa's economy?
I must say the state of the South African economy is very uncomfortable. It makes us uncomfortable, but it is not really beyond repair as it is in other countries. As I say, these are things which are beyond our control, but what is needed is that all of us as South Africans must be wary of making so many demands which forces the state to use even more money that it doesn't have. But under the current circumstances, I may say that our economic fundamentals are fragile but under control, if ever we all.
Should consumers, should public transport users, Prof, be worried of a potential increase based on these, increases that we are seeing here? Because we know that oftentimes when we talk about food increases, when we talk about electricity as well as fuel price hikes, we know that also those who have to bear the brunt here are the public transport users.
One thing which I can say about public transport in South Africa as it is now is, with all the reservations we have about our taxi industry has proved that when it comes to fare increases, they are very consistent. They raise them only once a year. And I really do not see them raising their taxi fares at this particular point in time. even though it is going to hit in their pockets. So let us be thankful about that. And most of our bus transport is partly owned by government. So the fare increases there can be controlled as well. But it is with the retail sector then that we cannot guarantee that all the retailers will not absorb some of the costs that will come with this with these fuel increases, especially those in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal, where they also have to recoup some of the losses they made over the 2 weeks of disorder and economic sabotage.
All right, Prof, something for all of us South Africans to consider as we kickstart this week. Thank you for your time this morning, Professor Bonke Dumisa, talking to us there about the state of our economy, as well as the expected fuel, food and electricity hikes. On that